Hi guys, thank you for joining me on this live stream today. We are going to fly a beautiful short flight today on the Austrian Airlines. This is the Austrian Airlines 118, and we are doing the whole preparation together today. So we are not going to use FSI panel to basically set the aircraft completely for us, so we can learn as well a little bit how to prepare completely a flight. This new scenario that we will be flying today will be available just after the live stream, and you can fly it on, again, any aircraft you like, PMDG, of course the Fenix and Mad Dog, and any aircraft that is able to climb to flight level 160. So the new thing on that scenario is that FSI panel will not set anything in the cockpit. So you will see that it's not that difficult, but it's as well a way to learn how to prepare your cockpit by yourself and how to decide as well on your performance, because usually FSI panel does that for us. And now we might be confronted one day to maybe runway wet, or there is icing conditions, or like today we are flying to Innsbruck. Innsbruck has a 2,000 meters runway, so we have to be careful as well with our performance. So we are going to see that together, and we will see that. So thank you for joining, guys. I see already a lot of you, some French guys again that are always here. Thank you very much, guys, for your support, and I'm very proud and happy to have you on board today for that scenario. So it's real time, so if you have any question, please drop it in the comment. I'll try to answer your question, and we hope for the best. It's a short flight. It's quite busy as we are going to fly ANP approach, and you will see that it's quite interesting, the scenario. So let's jump in the cockpit, and here we are. First of all, let me know if the sound looks good, or if there is maybe, if you hear all right, the engines and everything looks good, then we can go ahead. Here we are on the Fenix. As you see, nothing has been set. I just loaded the aircraft in Munich at the parking 253, and we are going to prepare the flight using FSI panel. So let me bring FSI panel just to show you what you have to do on that training scenario. So here we are, as you can see, we are in Munich 26 left, and what we will do here is go to the training scenario, and on the open scenario manager we're going to have the Austrian 118, and that's the one that we are interested today. So I will show you the lesson plan in a minute. What is very important on that scenario is to click on the Simbrief flight plan. So if you click on the Simbrief flight plan, this is what's going to happen. You will have your Simbrief open with all the field populated for you. So now we have to decide by yourself, and this is something new now. You have to decide by yourself how much fuel you want to take, how much passengers you want to take, and then we will generate the flight plan, and we will use it in the cockpit. So here, as you can see, it's Austrian Airlines 118 from Munich to Innsbruck, and we have Munich again as alternate. It's been set as an A320. This is all set by FSI panel. Then if we go down here, we can see that we are going to depart on runway 26 left. That's the active runway today for departure. And we are going to land on runway 108, sorry. Cruising altitude for that scenario is 16,000 feet. It's been populated already. And we are going to load, let's say, 140 passengers today on our aircraft. So that's up to you what you want to do. Just make sure you can land at your destination, that you're not reaching with an aircraft that is overweight, and then suddenly you are not legally allowed to land the aircraft. So 140, that's okay. We have the routing here as per the lesson plan, so we are going to check that in a minute, and that's basically all we need to do. So as easy as that. Then don't forget to click generate flight, and once the flight is generated, we can go back to our simulator. So here we are, it's done. Let's go back in the simulator. Okay, here we are. I'm just missing you here. I cannot see your comments, so I will just open the second screen on my side here. Okay, here we go. All right, so we are in the cockpit, and the first thing to do here will be to import the flight in the Fenix. So we'll go here, and I will import simply from the EFB. It tells me that 20:07 is my standard departure time. So right now it's 9:04. So let's say we are going to depart at 9:30. So let's put 0930 update. So that's around 26 minutes from now. So we are going to do the preparation. So we need to import the flight. Be careful, one thing, the METAR that you're seeing here, this is the real live METAR. This is the live weather, and we are not flying with live weather. We are flying with the scenario weather. So never use this weather tab. Never use any ACARS or something to get the weather. The weather will be wrong. So you need to use the lesson plan or the ATIS that you can find on 12345 for departure, arrival, or diversion should we divert. Then we'll go to mass and balance. And here we can see that we have our planned 140 passengers. We have our cargo, and we have the fuel at 4.5. So we need 4.5, and we are going to round it up. Usually we take 500 kilos extra. It depends on the weather. So here I'm just going to round it up to 5 tons. So let's put 5 tons. Here we go. And then we are going to load the aircraft fast time. So the aircraft will start loading. On the Fenix, that's all we have to do. One more thing you can do, go to Navigraph. And here we are as well going to import the routing. And now we have our routing, and there we will need probably the ground charts, of course. So let's put 10.9. This one that we will need for sure. And we will see later on for the SID and the arrival. So for now, I'm just going to use, the ground chart. That's something you want to do. Then what I suggest you to do is to use as well the, you can use the Navigraph add-on. So if I bring here the Navigraph, let's use Simbrief panel first of all and fetch the data. So I can have here my payload, my weather, and my flight plan. That's easy to read, and you can use as well Navigraph chart. Here I'm not going to do that. All right, so now what we need to do is select the correct weather as per the lesson plan. So let's have a look at the lesson plan. I'll bring the lesson plan for you now, and we will see what is today the training that we are going to do together. So this is our lesson plan. Austrian 118, Munich to Innsbruck, a short trip. Set your weather to Austrian 118, so I have to do that now. The weather is not as good as we just saw now outside. It's a bit of rain and low ceiling, so it's going to be challenging. And as we have rain showers along the way, it's again one of these scenarios where you might not see the runway and you might have to go around. So this is the nice thing about these showers of rain. So we have set up Munich, runway 26 left. You can park anywhere you want on Terminal 2 between the gate 244 to 256. And the aircraft weight and fuel, now it's completely your responsibility. So as you saw now, I took 140 passengers. I rounded up the fuel to 5 tons. My alternate is Munich. And this is the routing. So we will check that as well into the EFB. And the weather for Munich, you can see that we have light wind, 10 kilometers of visibility with light rain. We have scattered cloud at 2,000 feet, 12 degrees, and the QNH is 999. At destination, runway 08, light wind as well, light rain. We have scattered 1,400, so that's just at the ceiling that we need. Scattered 7,000, 12 degrees, and 999. As a company NOTAM, they tell you to check that the crew is qualified for RNPER. These approach that we are going to fly today are AR, which means authorizations required. So we will assume that we are. So there is special training in the simulator, and usually the captain is doing takeoff and landing on those airports. And so we assume that we are qualified. Then we start MSFS Terminal 2, gate 244 to 256. We will set the weather, and then we can start the scenario. We are not going to look any further on the tips. The tips here is very straightforward. It will bring you right there in the tutorial. So this is where we need to park. Anywhere you like in Terminal 2, you can go ahead and park right there. So I choose 253, so I'm here, and I'm expecting to push back facing south, and then we will see with the taxi. All right, so let's go back in the simulator and let's prepare the aircraft. So we have imported everything. Now we can start preparing the Airbus. So the first thing I will do here is going to the communication ATSU, AOC menu, and I will init the flight. For that, we are going to use the data link. So we should get all the initialization done here for the flight number from Munich to Innsbruck. Alternate is Munich, and we have 25 minutes flight time, which is quite short on this route. So this is done. The next thing you can do is to initialize your your MCDU, sorry. So I'm going to do that as well with the init request, and we should get the first step of our routing here in the MCDU. That's done. All right, now that this is done, we can start working on the preparation. So the first thing I will do is to pick up the ATIS here in Munich to make sure we have the correct weather. So ATIS is 12345. Let's go for 12345. And first of all, of course, I need to start, the training scenario. We didn't start the training scenario, so that's a good example. You see, nothing's going to happen because the training scenario hasn't started yet. So I'll bring FSI panel, and we are going to start the training scenario. So that's very easy. We will go to training scenario, Austrian 118, start training. And that's it. Now we can see that the scenario pack is downloaded, and the message you will get now is please set zero fuel weight. Basically, you are now responsible. FSI panel will not do anything. So I thought this is as well a very good thing to do, because if you always trust what I do with FSI panel, you might be wrong somewhere, or we are taking intersections, or the weather is changing, or maybe you get some rain while I was not having any rain, especially with the rain showers. So performance can vary from time to time. So it's quite good to basically just use the voice and everything and do the preparation by yourself. So I will do from time to time this kind of scenario where you have to prepare everything by yourself. So what do you think about that? Is that a good idea, or you prefer the aircraft to be fully ready for departure? So I would like to have your opinion about that. Okay, I just click acknowledge here, and then it tells me scenario starts, contact delivery 121730. So I will write it down, 121730, and we have the ATIS available on 12345. Acknowledge, and now if I go on the ATIS,
runway in use 26 left and 26 right, surface wind 270 degrees at 4 knots, visibility 10 kilometers or more, light. This is Munich information Bravo, runway in use 26 left and 26 right, surface wind 270 degrees at 4 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more, light rain, clouds scattered 2,000 feet, scattered 8,000 feet, temperature 12, dew point 8, QNH 9er, transition level flight level 60, runway 26 left, expect departure from intersection Bravo 12, acknowledge received information Bravo on first contact.
Okay, so you hear the ATIS like me. Bravo is the information, light wind, no surprise here. Now the first thing we got here is that we are expecting a Bravo 12 intersection takeoff. So usually that's the case in Munich. On some airports, they prefer you to depart on the intersections as they use full length for the icing pad and other things. So here we have been given a hint. We are departing from Bravo 12. So this is something we need to take care of. The other things we want to set now is your QNH, 9er. So when we get the ATIS, just go for 9er as this. And here, something is not working, and you know exactly why, because I need to set the weather as per the lesson plan. This is something I didn't do because I wanted to show you that as well. So let's bring the weather here, and I am going to use here the FSI. Hopefully this time we have it here. FSI, where is it? FSI Austrian 118. I was a little bit worried for a moment, and everything is working fine. Okay, so as you can see, the weather is not as good as we saw before. It's still okay. It's a bit of rain. Temperature on the ATIS is 12 degrees. Right now, here it's showing 9 degrees. So now here the captain might decide, should we go anti-ice on or anti-ice off for departure? So anyway, as soon as we get airborne, we're gonna lose these 2 degrees within a few seconds, as we lose 2 degrees per 1,000 feet. So probably I will decide here to go with anti-ISON for my takeoff calculation. So that's something that now with the ATIS we can already think about. Okay, let's bring now the Simbrief and we prepare the cockpit. So here I will bring, I'm new with this this wheel, so I'm sorry if I'm a bit slow here when I'm working with it. I'm getting used to it slowly. And yeah, here we go. So we have our flight plan here, and we can see Munich to Innsbruck on the A320, and we are going to set now our MCDU. So here we have Munich to Innsbruck, alternate Munich. The flight numbers is AUA, this is Austrian, 118 Golf, this is our call sign. Cost index 36. Here we go, and the cruising altitude on that flight is 160, so it's quite low. 160 is set. Now we go to the flight plan page and we are going to insert our flight plan. So we have already a flight plan here inserted by the data link. What we need to set here is the departure. So we can either try now to set a departure as per the lesson plan and as per the flight plan here, but if Munich changed the runway or if Munich changed the departure for some reason, then we're going to do the work twice. So my suggestion here is request your clearance. You can request your clearance up to 30 minutes before departure, and then you can basically make sure you have the right SID right away. So that's something I will do now. I will call the delivery to ask my clearance, then I might get the SID already, the runway, and then it's very easy to make it right from the first time. So I see one question here. C'est quoi au juste tête? Ooh, okay, the wheel that I'm using here, this wheel, it's from Parallel 42, and it disables the top bar. You see here, I do not have the menu anymore. So this is an option, you can say disable or not. And what I can do here, I can bring whatever I want quickly. And it's very convenient because you basically, wherever you put your mouse and you use your tab key, the wheel is appearing. And from there you can call GS6, you can call whatever you want. You can have several wheels and you can put anything you want here. So it's quite convenient, and it's not that expensive. I think it's around 19 or 20 bucks. So quite a nice tool for me. All right, so let's call delivery. We are position 253, we have Bravo, and we are on Airbus A320. So let's see if we get any reply now from delivery. 121730, let's go. Delivery, very good morning. Austrian 118 Golf, stand 253 with the information Bravo. Request IFR clearance to Innsbruck, it's an A320.
Austrian 118 Golf, delivery allow. Clear through Innsbruck as filed, runway 26 left, Mersey 5 Sierra departure, squawk 3115.
Okay, Austrian 118 Golf, clear to Innsbruck as filed, Mersey 5 Sierra departure, and the squawk is 3115.
Austrian 118 Golf, readback is correct. When ready, contact APROM 121.710. Safe flight, cheers.
Roger, when ready, 121.710. Cheers, Austrian 118 Golf. Okay, 121.710, that should be set automatically, good. And so now we know the departure. We've been clear runway 26 left on the Mersey 5 Sierra. So very easy now to do that. So if we have a look now on the chart, we can go and select now the departure. And we are going for the Mersey 5 Sierra. Where is it? Here, 5 Sierra. So that's the one. And transition altitude is 5,000. And initial climb clearance flight level 70. So that's important. You saw in the clearance, they didn't give us any altitude because they expect you just to follow whatever it says here. Initial climb clearance flight level 70. So we are going to program that in our MCDU. So Munich, departure runway 26 left, and we want the Mersey 5 Sierra. Insert. After that, we see the MERSA here, we can see the departure. If I go up here to to the end, then we see Yankee 100. This is my next airway. So if I bring again my flight plan here, we can see there the routing. So after Mersey, we've got Yankee 100 to ATMAX, so Yankee 100 to ANMAX. And then if I continue down, I can see Yankee 740 to Nezes, and Yankee 740 will go all the way to Xebix. So it goes to Nezes. Let's see if it's continuing, and it goes to Xebix. This is the end of our clearance limit. Then we need to put an arrival. So here we are expecting runway 08 with the wind in Innsbruck. So we can have a look at the chart and insert already what we expect. We save time this way. So let's go Innsbruck, and here I'm going to go on the approach, and we are expecting the RNP AR. So that's the one. If you click on that one, you will see the initial approach fix. So this initial approach fix is always a nice idea to check that in order to find which star and which transition you need to insert. So basically our approach will start from LMM. So now if we look at the star, we ended up on our flight plan finishing at Xebix. So if I go now to the arrival, I will look for something with Xebix. So we see here Xebix 1 Bravo. So this one is for all runway, it's an AirNav arrival, and it goes basically Xebix to LMM. And from LMM, we saw that we can fly the approach. So that's the star I want to insert into my MCDU. So let's do that now. So we are going back to the MCDU, and now I will put the arrival. Here we go. And we are going for the AirNav Zulu 08. The star, we said Xebid 1 Bravo. And if there is only one transition, it's already there. You can check it by going via, and you can see that LMM is already selected, and I insert it. So right now, we should have a nice flight plan all the way down to arrival. So you can check the flight plan as well if you want on your plan page. Here, as we checked it with the flight plan, it doesn't really make any sense, but you can have a look, a nice picture if you want to see how is your routing all the way down to Innsbruck. So that's very nice. So now that we have inserted our flight plan, we need to think about our departure and check the SID. So because there is one engine out, there is things that you have to consider on the departure. So if we have a look now into again the departure here. No, this is not Innsbruck, this is Munich. Now we are in Munich, star, and I should have the Mersey departure. So here what it says for the SID. Airport elevation 1487. 1480, so we are correct. This guy here doesn't have the right QNH, so let's put 999, and we check 1480. First officer side, 999, 1480, that's good. Then let's have a look at this SID. Remain on tower frequency. When advised by ATC, we contact the departure. See the also minimum noise routing, so we'll see that with the NADP later on. And we have simultaneous parallel departure in progress. So this is where you have to be very careful. On this type of departure, basically any AirNav SID, you're supposed to put the autopilot as soon as possible to make sure the aircraft stays on the departure track, because you might have an aircraft very close by on your right-hand side here, departing on 26 right or going around from 26 right. So that's important that you follow the track very carefully. So we are departing on the Mersey 5 Sierra, runway 26 left. There is a note after 2700 P AirNav equipment is necessary. So we will climb on 261 bearing to Mike Sierra Echo. Mike Sierra Echo is that bearing here, that NDB here. Or from Mike Sierra Whiskey, which is also on the axis here. So we have these two basically beacons which are guaranteeing us that we are going straight. Of course, we are going to use LNAV, but we will use that as a backup. Then turn left 200 track to Ampeg, and turn right 208 track to Mersey. We have just one restriction here. We should be flight level 70 or above at 18.3 from Delta Mike Sierra. You see the Delta Mike Sierra, there is parentheses here. I don't know what you say. They're in quotes, sorry, in here with a D. What does it mean? Any idea, guys, what does that mean? 115.0, there is quote. So I'd like to know, can you tell me what it is all about? So now we have the SID, and we are just going to put in the fixed page, in the radio navigation page, sorry, here, we are going to put the ADF that we need. So why don't we put MSE on my side, Mike Sierra Echo, and on my first officer side, we could put Mike Sierra Whiskey, just to have something on the ADF2, which is not simulated here. Okay, fine. So we are just going to use the ADF1 here, and I will just use ADF1. Perfect. That's it. Now, what should we put on the frequency radio navigation? Squawk 7000. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And I remember you were answering as well very nicely, and you were right last time as well. Exactly. So this is only a DME basically. So you can try to find a radial, you will never find anything there. So this is just as a distance, DME readout, Delta Mike Sierra. So we are going to use that Delta Mike Sierra right there, just to have a DME distance to follow our SID. So I'm going to put DMS and DMS. Right, so now, if I choose, for example, VOR, I'm going to get the DME, but I will never get any radial. So only, as Squawk 7000 said, this is only a DME. So that's something to know as well. All right, now what about if we have an engine failure now? What are we going to do? So for that, there is a very nice website I will show you now. It's Captain Black Box, a good friend of mine. We meet, on the line, I mean digitally. And I like his video, and he has done a very beautiful website where you can find all kind of information about nose abatement and about the one engine out that they use. So let me show you this website and how to use it. So I will bring here my internet, and I will show you that. Just have to find it. Here we go. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find the internet. It's a bit... Okay, sorry. Here was. Okay, so Blackbox 711 has done this beautiful website. I don't know if you see it here. I will type it in for you, and I will put that in the description of the video. So this is the website, blackbox711.com, and airport information chart. And you will find a lot of very nice information there. So if you type in Munich, Echo Delta Delta Mike, now we can find some very important information on that page. You will see here the MSA, 3,700 feet, within 25 miles of the locator 338. You will find your runways, 8 left, 8 right, 26 left, 26 right, 4,000 meters, both of them 60 meters wide. You will find the threshold elevation, and there you will find here the intersections. So today we are departing from Bravo 12 from runway 26 left. Then we can have the engine failure here. So if we depart 26 left, the acceleration altitude will be 3,000 feet. So this is something to remember. I will write it down. And we have the AOCID here. This is what you will do if you lose an engine at V1 or shortly after being airborne. Well, we just track 260 to 25 miles and we hold. Very straightforward. Then if you continue here, we have the NADP2 that they use in Munich. So that means we need to reduce our thrust at 2,490 feet, which is 1,000 feet above the airport, and we accelerate at the same altitude. So these figures, we are going to set them into our MCDU at the right place. So this is something to know as well. All right, so let's go back in the simulator and let's do that together. All right, so here if we will calculate the performance, and we are going to enter this nose abatement. So let's see if we got the load sheet already here. Maybe we have the load sheet if we are lucky. And we have the load sheet. Perfect. So let's see what we have for the load sheet. We have a zero fuel weight of 58.4. I write it down. Then we have takeoff weight 63.2. We have 140 passenger plus 3. Then what we have the max zero fuel is 31.0. And everything is good, so I will accept the load sheet. And this is probably the preliminary load sheet. Accept. All right, so now that we have our weight, we can go ahead and compute our performance. So let's go in the departure performance. And here again, do not use the weather sync live weather. If I do that, this might be completely wrong because this is the actual weather in Munich and this is not our training scenario weather. So be careful with that. So Munich, runway 26 left for departure. Let's put wet. We can see that it's rainy. So we want to be on the safe side. Then flap config will keep it optimum. We don't need to force toga. Anti-ice. What do you think, guys? Should we use anti-ice or not? I think we'll see. Let me know what you think about that. Will you set already your anti-ice or will you wait a little bit? Or will you switch on your anti-ice later on? Then the packs off. Okay, now we have takeoff weight. So takeoff weight, again, we are going for 63.2. So if I go sync load sheet final, we have it's correct, 63.2. So that's correct. And the MACTO is there, 29.7. Here I need to set the wind. So my ATIS was saying 270 at 4 knots. So I have to delete that. 270.04 knots. The temperature was 12 degrees. And the QNH 9er. All right, what is NADP2? NADP2 is nose abatement departure procedure 1 or 2. We have usually 1 or 2, and this is, if you check it on Google, you will find what's the difference. In one case, for example, at 1,000 feet, you can start to reduce your thrust, but you have to keep V2 plus 10 or up to V2 plus 20 up to 3,000 feet, and then you will start to accelerate the aircraft. So that's the nose abatement. It's to make sure you're not making so much noise on the departure here for the people living here. All right, anti-ice on for me. Yeah, perfect. Well done, Daniel. I will do the same because anyway, when we get airborne, it's rainy. We are going to switch it on right away, and then we can be proactive by just saying, okay, let's compute our performance with engine anti-ice on. And then if we don't need it, we're on the safe side because we already computed with engine anti-ice on. Now I press calculate. Now what do you think? Are those values correct, guys? What do you think? Can we insert that into the MCDU or is there any problem here? What do you think? I'm wondering if that's correct or if I should change something here. Well, we are not correct here. Why we are not correct? Because we didn't use the intersection. So that's as well very this is a trap as well. You might just forget and then we enter that values here, but we have a problem because this is full length and full length is 4,000 meters, okay? 4,000 meters. But we saw that if we depart from Bravo 12, we only have 2,600 meters. So that's as well a very easy trap. So be very careful. We expect Bravo 1-2. If you're taxiing your aircraft and they give you any intersections, before you say, yes, we can accept it, just go there. Select Bravo 1-2. You see that we have 2,820, which is 1,200 meters less. So that's almost 25% less runway. So I just select that. And now I will get the correct values. And you can see V1, the difference in V1 is huge. Now it's 121 because my acceleration stop distance available is much less. So then I will need to use that figure to make sure that I can stop the aircraft on the runway in case of an abort. So let's enter those values now. We have 121, 135, 136. So 121, 135, 136. Transition altitude 5000 is correct. Now what about the flaps? We are using flaps 2 down 03. So 2 slash down 0.3. And the flex is 66. 66. Now we were talking about thrust reduction, acceleration altitude. This is coming from Captain Black Box information. So we were having 2490 slash 2490. So now the Airbus, now it will tell us to put the thrust lever to climb when we pass 2,490 feet, and at the same time it will accelerate. So that's it. And now if we lose an engine, we want to start the acceleration altitude at 3,000 feet. So now we have done that page here. We are good. Now we can just make sure as well that on the init page 2 here, we are going to enter our zero fuel weight. So that was 58.4. And the CG was 31.0. And the block fuel, we took 5 tons. So we're going to put 5 tons. All right, so now we have the weight entered here, and we are missing still something here. We can use the alternate fuel. We can take it from the flight plan. So if I bring again my Simbrief planning and I go to row here, you can see here the 30 minutes reserve, which are right there, final reserve, and the 30 minutes. So final reserve, this is my 30 minutes, 1021. So this is computed right here. You can see 1 tons. That's about correct. So we can leave it like this. And we have the alternate. Should we fly back to Munich, we need about 1.4 tons. So I need to put 1.4 right there. And now I have correct performance. Something else you want to do is probably, this is something nice to do, it's to program the one engine out. The one engine out was to go straight ahead on 260 for 25 miles. So for that we have several options. One nice option to do here is just to make a fix info, select the runway. So we are in Echo Delta Delta Mike 26 left, that's my runway. I put it as a reference, and now we want the radial 260. So that will be outbound, and I want 25 miles. So now you can see that when I depart, this is where I'm supposed to fly, that line, and right there I'm joining a hold. So that's quite nice to do, but can we do it better? Any idea how we can do something a little bit better here? Because here, if I lose an engine, I don't have a real navigation. I just have to fly heading or track along that blue line and go all the way to these 25 miles. But is there a way we can do it better here? I'm sure I'm gonna get a good answer from one of you. How to basically have something very useful to save the day here if we have an engine fail. This is something that we use because it's convenient and very easy to program, and then if you have an engine fail, then you can revert to it. Any idea what we can do here? How is it outside here? Okay, so they disconnected the bridge already, fine. And we are going to do a secondary flight plan. So let me show you how you can do that. You go to secondary flight plan and you just copy the active. New waypoint like last week. Yes, Harald, we can do that. The problem if you do that is that the waypoint that you will create will basically be in your flight plan, and we are not flying there. So then we will have a problem with navigation. We will have the flight plan, but that's not going to work. So here we get Squawk 7000, that's correct again. We are going to use the secondary flight plan. new waypoint with hold. Yeah, we could do a waypoint, exactly create a waypoint, and then in case we have an engine fail, just go direct to, for example, JP1 and then activate, and the aircraft will fly there. But the easiest way, just copy the active flight plan into your secondary flight plan, like I did now. Now you can see I have my secondary flight plan, and here, using exactly the same method as we did before in the previous video, we are going to enter Echo Delta Delta Mike. That's my airport. I'm on runway 26 left, / I want to fly outbound on 260, and I need to go 25 miles. Does that make sense? And now I'm just going to put it here. And now we have this pilot-defined waypoint, number 01. That will basically be 25 miles on the track 260. Furthermore, I can click on it and enter the hold. 260. Right turn, that's fine for me. And now on my secondary flight plan, I have, as you can see, my waypoint 25 miles, and I will get the holding. So now, if I look in the plan mode, you can see, let me zoom out here so you can have a better look. What we can see here, this is my 25 miles exactly on the arc. So that's exactly my 25 miles outbound. On the correct radial, we can see it, and we have the holding. So now what happened if we have an engine failure? At some point, the only thing we need to do is secondary flight plan and activate secondary. Confirm, execute, nav, the aircraft goes there and join the hold. That's probably the easiest way to program that departure, isn't it? So now we have the normal SID, and should we lose an engine, activate secondary, nav, we go there, we join the hold. That's it. So I guess we programmed everything here. We can go ahead with the checklist, and then we'll be ready for departure. Let me see, I have here transition altitude said 6,000 feet. Transition level, you mean on the ATIS, I guess. You have transition altitude, which we can see on the chart here. If I bring the chart, Navigraph, and you can see there the transition altitude. So this is where we are passing from the QNH to the standard. Now, if you go to the any approach chart, let's put here, for example, the ILS here in Munich. Here, what you will see is usually we will get as well transition altitude 5,000, but the transition level is by ATC. So this is why the ATIS is telling you the transition level is 60 today, 6,000. So basically, that changed because we are descending, and if you have low QNH, then they better put the transition level higher to make sure you're not going very close to the terrain. So you will see that as well in a mountainous area like now going to Innsbruck. They will have very high transition altitude because it's too dangerous to be flying with the standards close to mountains. You might have big difference, and you might not have the terrain clearance that you expect. So that's why transition altitude is usually fixed, and most of the time the transition level is stated by ATC, either on the ATIS, or they will tell you when you contact approach, they will tell you descend 5,000 feet, transition level 670, for example. So that's the way to handle this transition altitude, transition levels. So let's go back to Munich ground chart. So what do you think, guys? Are we ready to depart? We've set here. We just have a look at the flows, and did we miss something on the departure, on the preparation here? I think we're quite all right. So we can bring the checklist and see cockpit preparation. So gear pins and covers, they are removed. Fuel quantity, we needed 4.5. We have 5 tons on board. Seatbelt sign, let's put it on now. Then we have the add ADIRS. We are on nav. And what you can check here on the progress page, you can see that we have GPS primary and we have a high accuracy. So that's very good for our departure. And finally, we have the baro ref. We check that we have 999er already before. and we have it 3 times and we are reading the correct altitude. So we are good with that. So now we are basically ready to start our short flight to Innsbruck. So that's gonna be a short flight, and we are just going to brief for our taxi. So we are parked position 253. So here on the apron 2, I'm expecting to push facing south, and then we depart via Bravo 2. So that's probably Sierra 8 or Sierra 7 to exit the apron, and then we taxi to Bravo 1-2 for the departure. We briefed already the SID, and this is right there. We have checked everything. We have the backup for the ADF, so everything is there. Initial clearance is flight level 70. Should we stop the takeoff, then it will be my control. I will immediately simultaneously disconnect the auto throttle, close the thrust lever, extend the speed brake, apply max reverse, and we check that we have max decel. We stop on the runway, we set the brake, we call cabin crew at station, we analyze the situation. If we need to evacuate, we do the evacuation checklist. If not, I will call cabin crew, remain seated. We vacate the runway, we check temperature of the brake temperature, and we request assistance if required. Then again, we are not going to brief the 1 engine out procedure because unfortunately right now with Fenix we cannot do it. As soon as it's available, I hope with V2, then I would start making V1 cut training scenarios, so we can do that if that's something that you will be interested seeing. So that's probably I hope very soon with V2. I don't know how they are doing with that V2, but I hope it will be fixed. So that's one thing. So we are just briefing the SID, everything is good. So let's request GS6 to prepare for departure, and off we go. So don't forget to start the APU, because now we are on the GPU, and if they disconnect, then we're gonna get a big problem. So let's start the APU. And I will call GS6 to prepare for pushback. GS6, here you are. Prepare for pushback and departure. Lufthansa. The APU is starting slowly but surely. So let's wait for the APU to complete the start.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Thanks. Brakes are set. So usually they ask you to make sure your brakes are set so they can connect everything. Now the APU is starting. What we are waiting for is the APU generator voltage and hertz, usually 400 hertz, 115 volts, and then the percentage of load. So now you can see that the APU has kicked in, so that's fine. I can disconnect external power, and I will make sure we disconnect as well from here, otherwise the guy on ground can be injured when he pulled the plug. So ground service, and we are going to disconnect this, this, and this. Perfect. And now I'm going to request pushback. Apron, hello, this is Austrian 118 Golf, stand 253 for pushback.
Austrian 118 Golf, apron, hello. Push and start approved, facing south, QNH 9er.
Push and start approved, facing south, 999er. Thank you, Austrian 118 Golf. Okay, so facing south, though that means my nose to the right. So here we go. And before we release the parking brake, we are going to make the flow. So the pumps are on. Beacon light goes on. Seatbelt sign is on. And we are just going to put the transponder here to auto. So now they see us on ground. And we can go ahead. Before start, parking brake is set for now. Takeoff speed and thrust. We have takeoff speed that should be on my side here. I have 121, 135, 136. And the thrust is flex 66. Windows, they are closed, and the beacon is on before start completed. She is very stressful, that lady. Huh? All right, we are starting the pushback. And we can start the engine at will, she said. So let's go ahead with the engine start then. Number 2, start. And it's not gonna work. And you know why it's not gonna work? Because of the APU bleed. And usually when you go with the switch to ignition start, then you will see here the bleed pressure. If the bleed pressure is not there, the engine is not gonna start. So that's something that I forgot to check. Now we have the bleed pressure, so I can go number 2, and now it should start. It opened the start valve, and we're gonna have into acceleration, ignition, fuel flow. Thank you, Wolfgang. Highly appreciated. And we are pushing back. You saw that the rain stopped now. So we calculated with engine anti-ice on because of the rain, and now the shower is gone. So this kind of scenario, you never know what to expect, but we are on the safe side, and you will see when we reach Innsbruck, we never know what kind of weather we're gonna get. So we might have to go around, we might see the runway, we'll see. Okay, so let's start. Number 2. (246), so we have about 20% N1, around 400 EGT, and around 60% N2, and we should get the avail. 246. Avail, start number 1.
Please set parking brakes.
Yes, ma'am. Brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Will do. Alright, so again, start valve is open. N2 is accelerating. Fuel flow, we've got light up. Oil pressure, we check that it goes into the green. So it's increasing. Now we are good. And we monitor the acceleration of N1, N2, EGT, and the PSI there. And it looks not too bad. Okay, I'll let her go. So let's bring GS6 up. Confirm good engine start.
Ground. We have a good engine start. Please disconnect.
All right, avail. So what we do now, ignition normal. We go up here, and we are going to turn the APU bleed off. We need engine anti-ice. We computed with the engine anti-ice, so make sure you turn your engine anti-ice on. We can turn off the APU. Then I go down here. I will make sure that my trim is 0. Arm the speed brake, the spoilers, and set the flaps 2. So flaps 2. Let's see here from the passenger view. Nice. So flaps 2, and we are just going to check that the trim is at 0.3. 0.3 down. Here we go. After start, checklist anti-ice on, ECAM status checked, pitch trim. We got 0.3 down, and the rudder trim is neutral. After start checklist completed, we are ready for taxi. Austrian 118 Golf, ready for taxi.
Austrian 118 Golf, taxi straight ahead, Sierra 8, all short of Sierra.
Straight ahead, Sierra 8, all short of Sierra, Austrian 118 Golf. All right, easy taxi at least. Lights on, and she said straight ahead. So here we go, we are departing right there. So straight ahead, Sierra 8, all short of Sierra. So if we go down here, Sierra 8 and all short of Sierra. So basically we go just here to the exit of the apron Sierra 8. All right, lights are set, brakes release, and let's move the aircraft. First thing we will do here is a small brake check. So you just hit your brake slowly and you will check here the gauge. So what you want to see is when I release the brake, you have pressure 0, which means all the brakes, there is no braking active now on the aircraft, and we can taxi the airplane. Straight ahead, at least an easy departure, easy taxi. And for those of you that fly Boeing, I know I asked you to vote whether you want the Airbus or the Boeing today on the live stream. It was very close, so I will make as well a video for the Boeing same flight, or maybe just the approach that we will do, and that will be a video. I probably will do it midweek next week. So for those of you flying as well the 737, you will be able to see how to prepare and how to fly the departure. All right, let's do the taxi procedure. So we are going to switch the radar, PWS. Then we are going to set auto brake to max. And let's go for takeoff config. Check, and we will do the flight control check just before lining up the runway. And the cabin, let's give them a call. See if they are ready. So Sierra 8, that's the holding point in front of me here.
Austrian 108 Golf, hold short at Sierra and contact ground 121 decimal 830. Cheers.
Hold short of Sierra and 121.830. Cheers. Sorry, I forgot to say Austrian, so that's my mistake. It's a very bad read back here. Okay, so Sierra 8, hold short of Sierra, and we call ground. Ground, good morning, Austrian 118 Golf, holding short Sierra.
Austrian 118 Golf, ground. Hello, taxi runway 26 left, intersection Bravo 12.
Taxi 26 left, intersection Bravo 12, Austrian 118 Golf. Okay, why? Any reason you didn't import the wind request on the MCDU? I don't do it because I'm using the snapshot weather file, so the preset. And I'm afraid, I think if you request the weather, the wind on the MCDU, you are going to get the actual wind, which might be completely different. So that's why I'm not using any data link for weather, for ATIS, for anything, because we are flying the training scenario with special weather. So that's the reason, Paul, I didn't use it at all. Okay, so we are approaching our Bravo 12 intersection here. That's as well something you want to make sure when you approach a runway, that the intersection that you are at is the one that we have calculated our takeoff performance. So easy to make a mistake here. All right.
Austrian 118 Golf, monitor tower 120 decimal 505. Have a safe flight.
Thank you. Monitor the tower on 120505, Austrian 118 Golf. Bye-bye. So 120505 to monitor. So this frequency, you have to set it by yourself because it's a monitor. So remember to set it by yourself. Here we go. Cat 2, Cat 3. Cat 2, Cat 3 is not active today. If it will be low visibility, this is the active holding point. So I will have to stop the aircraft right there. If LVP is in force. LVP is not in force, we go to the category 1 holding point here. So that says Cat 1, Bravo 12. So this is what we are looking at. Bravo 12, Cat 1 holding point. Cabin is ready. That's perfect.
Austrian 118 Golf, tower, hello, runway 26 left, intersection Bravo 12, line up and wait.
Hello, 26 left, Bravo 12, line up and wait, Austrian 118 Golf. All right, clear for lineup. So let's go strobe light on. I will just switch the landing lights to the off position. Taxi light on. We have the engine anti-ice, which is set. Let's put the transponder on. And we need to go packs off. Taxi procedures, flight control checked. Flap setting is 2. configuration, that's correct. The radar and PWS, they are on auto, the engine mode selectors on normal, and the ECAM memo takeoff no blue. Checklist completed. Runway looks correct here. I check my track, so everything looks good. Let's do a quick flight control check here. We forgot about it. So full left,
118 Golf,
full
wind
right.
260 at 5 knots, runway 26 left, you are cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 26 left, Austrian 118 Golf. Okay, so clear for takeoff, lights on, we start the timer, and here we go, so takeoff. Manflex 66, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue. Slight forward pressure on the stick. Release the pressure at 80 knots. 100 knots checked. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Nav. Autopilot 1. Not too good the weather. So you see the anti-NOTS was good. So climb thrust. Back to on. Speed is about F-bug with positive trend, flaps 1. 10 seconds elapsed, let's go back 1 on. It's quite cloudy today, not the best weather to depart here, easy at least, light wind. Approaching S-bug. Flaps up. Flaps are up. Runway turn off. Taxi light off. And the speed brake is retracted. 5,000 is my transition altitude, so if I'm not doing anything I get a warning, so let's see that happening.
Austrian 118 Golf, contact radar 127.955, have a safe flight.
127.955, thank you, Austrian 118 Golf. 27955, here we go, and 5,000 feet, you see, flashing, so I just need to go standard, and passing 57, confirm on both sides. We will set the junior. Departure hello, Austrian 118 Golf, flight level 60, climbing 70.
Austrian 118 Golf, flight anti-forward, climb via SID, flight level 120.
Climb via SID, flight level 120, Austrian 118 Golf. Okay, 120, climb via SID, so we have a constraint here. We can see our 7,000 feet and speed 250 knots, so flight level 70 is passed, so that's fine for us. And 250 knots, she's maintaining, that's perfect. Junior, we need to put 1013, and she's reading 79 compared. Engine OTR is not required anymore, switch them off now. We are nicely above cloud. And we departed. Now the flight is quite short, so as soon as we are above 10,000 feet above the steering flight, we are going to do a couple of things, and we are going to prepare as well our approach right away because it's going to be very fast. 10,000 feet.
Austrian 118 Golf, climb flight level 160 and proceed direct Mersey.
Climb level 160, direct Mersey, Austrian 118 Golf. 160 set, direct to Mersey. Insert, we are turning left, 10,000 feet, lights off. I'm gonna put the seatbelt to auto. We have the pressurization, which is climbing. We can see here the cabin altitude and the PSI is increasing. That's fine. What we can do as well here is remove the fix. So just go to fix info. We don't need anymore the fix here. So I'm just going to remove the fix. And radio navigation, I will just as well clear whatever we set. So we leave now the MCDU doing his own job. Here we go. Climbing, and now you see something here interesting. We have a steep descent that was saying here too steep path. So I guess this is an issue with Fenix, and I show you why. Because here on the arrival she wants the speed 175 or below. 175 or below, this is in the approach chart. If we go to the Innsbruck and we go to the approach for the RNP, I could go star, isn't it? Did I put it on star? Yeah. And you can see that we have speed restrictions there. 175 knots, maximum 165 knots, but it is maximum. And the Fenix takes it as a minimum speed that he has to fly 175 knots. And there, if you have to maintain the speed and then suddenly drop and reduce the speed to final approach speed, then she's telling you, I'm not able to do it. So here we just have to delete these constraints. So just go here and delete the constraint. Insert, and we go to the next one. Anytime you have a dot, there is a constraint. So this 225 is not a problem, but here you get again 175. So I will go here and I will delete the constraint. Insert, and then let's go to the next one. If we have any, 165, and clear the constraint. Continue. Do we have any other one here? We have another 165, and we still have the two-step descent. So I'm gonna clear it again. And probably now we are good, I hope. Yeah, now we are good, and we don't have any warning anymore. So that's it. That's done, and we are capturing altitude. Alt star, flight level 160. We are on the way to Innsbruck.
Austrian 118 Golf, contact Bremen radar, frequency 120.225. See you next time.
Thank you, 120.225, Austrian 118 Golf. Bye-bye. 20225. Bremen, guten Tag, Austrian 118 Golf, maintaining level 160 to Mersey.
Austrian 118 Golf, Bremen radar, guten Tag. You are identified. Maintain a flight level 160 final for you today.
Roger, maintain 160, Austrian 118 Golf. Okay, so we maintain 160, and now it's a good time to check the ATIS. So let's go for the ATIS. We should hear the ATIS for arrival.
10, expect RNPAR approach. Acknowledge received Innsbruck, information Delta on first. This is Innsbruck, information Delta. Runway in use 08. Surface wind 060 degrees at 4 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Light rain. Clouds scattered 1,300 feet. Scattered 8,000 feet. Temperature 12. Dew point 8. QNH 9er. Transition level flight level 110. Expect RNPAR approach. Acknowledge received Innsbruck, information Delta on first contact.
Perfect. Information Delta 1215 is back on the frequency. Alright, so let's put the arrival there. So enter destination, performance page, and we are going to the approach, and I'm just going to type in 999. The temperature is 12 degrees. Then the wind is 060 at 4 knots. Here, and transition level, you saw it's a bit higher, probably because of the low QNH today. We have 9er, so they make it a bit higher, so make sure you change it as well. And we are going to set the barrow in a minute. Good, so now let's compute our performance for the arrival. So we are going for arrival performance. And we are going to Innsbruck. We are landing on runway 08. Braking action is good. The weather, the wind is 060 at 04 knots. Temperature is 12 degrees and we have 9er. Then landing weight, let's see what we have as a landing weight. Let's put 62 tons. So 62.0, and you can see that we need to use, if I use low auto brake, that's not good, but medium will make it. So we're going for medium. Bing. And now what I will do as well here on the progress page, I will put here Lima Oscar Whiskey India 08. And now I have the distance to my threshold. So that's as well a very nice way to know if you're too fast, too high. So that's a good thing to do. Now let's do the quick brief for that approach. Okay, so no. Okay, how can I go? Can I go full screen here? Well, okay, we'll do it like this. Okay, the ATIS, we got it already. It's AirNav approach, final course 077. We have to be at 13,000. So that's still flight level 130, so we have to be careful. At LMM and at Whiskey India 749, we'll start a 3.6 degrees descent all the way down to our minimum, which is 2,900. We need RNP 0.3. So that's what we'll check. The airport elevation is 1,900. And in case of mist, we climb to 9,500 feet via the AirNav mist approach track to RTT and hold. So we are going to this holding there on RTT. So let's check that. Let's set the minimum first. So 2,900. Where are we? We are good. Okay. 2,900. In the prox page, you can see that we have GPS primary high, which is good. If you go to predictive, you can see here that from -15 to +15, or for ETA, which is 10:26 right now, so in around 15 minutes. So from -15 to +15, we have all yes. So it means our performance predictive are good. We can fly AirNav approach, RNP approach. So that's what you will do. And we will check as well that the descent point here, we have a 3.6 degrees descent. So that's important as well. So now we have breathed everything, and the go around goes to Romeo Tango Tango. So we can see that here, Romeo Tango Tango and hold. So that's it. So now soon we're gonna have to descend, and the approach is fast. So now you can see that Xebix, flight level 130 above.
Contact Innsbruck radar 128 decimal 975. Bye bye.
28975 Austrian 118 Golf. Bye bye. So now we are ready with the arrival. Innsbruck arrival, guten Tag, Austrian 118 Golf, maintaining 160 to Nezes and information Delta on A320.
Austrian 118 Golf, hello, you are cleared the Xebix 1 Bravo arrival for the RNP Zulu runway 08 to our number 2, expect no delay.
Roger, we are cleared the Xebix 1 Bravo arrival for RNP 08. Number 2, no delay, Austrian 118 Golf.
Austrian 118 Golf, when ready, descend flight level 130.
And when ready, descend 130, Austrian 118 Golf. 130, and now how many track miles I have here? Around 40, so I should start to reduce the speed. So I will start to reduce my speed. On top of that, we are number 2, so do not come too fast. We are doing RNP approach, so we need to be established and configured at the top of descent right there. So when we start the descent at Whiskey India 749, we should be fully configured. So what we can do is put a fix. We are just going to put a fix at Whiskey India 749. And we just put 2 miles. radius. This is to remind me I have to configure the aircraft for landing. So now I'm reducing my speed and I will start descent. Bing, and I will tell the cabin crew to prepare the aircraft. Thrust idle, descent. Let's go for the we'll do the approach checklist, and we check later on just the barrow. So barrow ref is to go, the seatbelt sign is on, the minimum is 2,900 feet set, auto brake is medium as per the computation, and engine mode selector is normal. Anti-ice, we will see if we need it once we reach there. Thank you. Just have to do the checklist again, just to check the transition later on. So it's flight level 110. We are descending, and LMM, flight level 130. So we gotta be at or above. And then this is our final descent point with a 3.6 degrees. Hi Wolfgang. Thank you for joining a little bit tonight. I hope you feel better. I heard you went to the hospital, so I hope everything is all right. Thank you for joining us, and have a good recovery. I'll see you next time. Thanks. Yeah, Harald, we will do that on the Boeing. On the Airbus, I never did something like that. So unless it changed, I flew Airbus long time ago, but on the Boeing we deselect. Yeah, we deselect the source, and here what we check is the in the progress page. You can see that the GPS is the primary source of navigation. All right, so we are going down to 13,000, approaching LNM. Let's activate the approach now. It's already done, so I will give speed control to the aircraft to reduce the speed, as we need to be configured by this point here. And I hope we get the approach clearance.
Austrian 118 Golf, you are cleared. LNP 08 Zulu, latest TRNH 9999.
Roger, clear. LNP 08 Zulu, 9999 at the QNH. Austrian 118 Golf. So you see low QNH, be careful. If you didn't see the video that I've done a couple of weeks ago about a trap, and you see the terrain right there, so this is very dangerous if you don't set the correct QNH. So we are aiming now toward a final descent point, so we can arm the approach. We should have final approach, and now I will set right away my QNH, because that's very important. Look at the actual altitude, 13,400. Now if I go 999, we already 400 feet lower. So that's something that you have to be very careful with low QNH. So 999, and I'm reading 12.9, 12.9, and we have 12.9. All good. So we want to be configured. We are within the circle, so let's go flaps 1 now, 2 miles. Look at this landscape is just crazy. We will see that during the approach. It's a long approach. So let's go flaps 2 now. Now you can see vertical deviation is coming. Final approach is armed. So the aircraft will start descent now. Gear down. Approaching 10,000, I will set the landing light already. That light, I usually keep it until the landing clearance. That's my hint that the landing clearance is not received. And arm the speed brake. Flaps 3. Flaps full. Missed approach altitude, 9,500. Now, as we are in final approach, we can set the missed approach altitude. She will not capture. This is exactly like an LS approach. She will go through. So that's a good thing. So she will descend now, and we are going to monitor here the approach. Look at the low clouds here. So we'll see if we see the runway, if we are lucky, or if we have to go around today. This is the kind of things when we have showers of rain. And I love to put showers of rain in my scenarios, because even though the weather is normally okay 90% of the time, you are never 100% sure you can land. So that's why I put these rain showers. So that's unfortunately if you're coming at the wrong time and the shower is right over your threshold, then you practice a go around. Okay, so we are all good. We are going down here. And Clement, which hardware do you use and what is your sensitivity for your rudder and throttle, both Fenix and PMDG? Well,
Austrian 118 Golf, contact tower 120.1. Safe landing, see you next time.
Thank you, 120.1, Austrian 118 Golf, bye-bye. 201. Here we go. Tower, hello, Austrian 118 Golf, we are on the RNP 08 Zulu.
Austrian 118 Golf, Innsbruck Tower, good morning. Continue approach on number 2, expect late landing cans.
Roger, continue approach, Austrian 118 Golf. Okay, continue approach, we are passing 10,000 feet. And it is just nice, we are going close to the mountains. One thing as well, it's a good idea to have terrain on ND, and as it is an AR approach, we have terrain around the place. It might be that we get a terrain warning, and then the airline will give you some hint. Are you allowed or not to deselect the terrain or not? So this is why it's an AR procedure. Maybe special database for Austrian Airlines. I have no clue about it because I never flew the AR over there. We were not qualified for AR, so in Austria we were flying just the normal approach. So I'm not sure about that, if they have special procedures with the terrain warning or anything else. But we'll see how she flies, or the Fenix fly this approach. So for the approach checklist, we were just missing the barrel ref, and that was done, so we can say it's complete. Yeah, so for my hardware, I have a Trustmaster Captain, and I use it as well for the PMDG 737. I have created a special profile on MSFS. I can use it as a normal thrust lever. I have the toga button on the right side of the disconnect. On the left side, I have the toga switch, and sensibility. I put the standard value. I didn't change anything, and I put 1% here on the calibration, if that's what you meant. All right, let's have a look outside now. It's a long approach, so you want to be stabilized. You can fly it fast, but then you're not helping your aircraft. So it's always a good idea when you fly this, and it's procedure on some airlines. Most of the airlines, you have to be fully stabilized when you start the final descent. So when we start with the 3.6 degrees or the 3 degrees, then you need to be at your final configuration so that the aircraft can just fly a standard descent. So you see, very nice place, this Innsbruck. And what I'm concerned a little bit about the cloud today. So let's put terrain here so we have a clue here what's going on. You see that cloud layer? So we'll see. What I could set, is the Romeo Tango Tango. I forgot to brief that. So if I go to radio navigation, I could put Romeo Tango Tango right there on the ADF, just in case we go around. Then we have the track as well. It's right there in front of me, and it's an air nav go around. So if we go around, we really have to engage nav. Don't forget that, engage nav, because you will have terrain left side and right side. So if you're an IMC, you might lose your special orientation, and now if you don't have nav right there, you might go directly into the terrain. So be very careful with that. Okay, so minimum 2,900. We are number 2. She said to continue the approach. So here everything looks good. I could sit here and watch this approach from here, but I have to fly it, and I hope I'm not screwing it up for you guys. But look at the nice job she's doing. This Fenix is doing a good job. I will see PMDG midweek. We'll try to do the exact same approach, and see if she can fly the same way. These clouds, I'm very worried about this cloud. Yeah, let's see. We still have a couple of feet to lose, so we still have a chance. We are going to get into the cloud here, and temperature is 3 degrees. So I'll be proactive. I will switch already my engine anti-ice on, so that I don't have to do it when we are in IMC, getting into the cloud. All right. Wow. So now we're gonna lose ground contact, and we are getting in the cloud in between mountains. So we have to trust our system. We can see lateral deviation, vertical deviation. First officer on the progress page. We're gonna have the actual required. We need 0.3, and the estimated right now is 0.03, so that's perfect, and we are still in high accuracy, so we can trust our system. Now you can see that we are below the actual terrain, so now if we should turn left or right, we're gonna hit the terrain. So here we could get a terrain warning, so this is where maybe they have a special procedure to turn it off. Let's see, now we are getting very low, and we are going to enter the clouds. Wow. $2,900 is our minimum. So what you're looking at now is your radio altimeter call out. So this is from the airport elevation plus 2,500. So roughly 2,000 plus 2,500, that's 4,500. By 4,400, I'm expecting radio altimeter. So that's as well something that you will expect. And now you get it, you see? So that's as well something that is important. Now we are entering into cloud. So we know we have mountains all around the place. And we can see that here on the terrain display. But we fly and we trust our instrument. Lateral deviation, vertical deviation. Let's do landing checklist. Go around altitude 9,500 feet set. Cabin crew advised. Landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. Okay, getting ready here. I have ground contact. Minimum 2,900. And we are still not clear to land. So do we need anti-ice anymore? I don't think so. I'm going to turn off the anti-ice so we get better performance. And last turn. Wow. Turning onto the final. I see the runway. Oh, we are lucky. She's coming nicely in. And now I'm hoping for my landing clearance. There is an aircraft on the runway, guys. I see an aircraft on the runway. Oh, that doesn't smell good. So let's see, maybe the aircraft will vacate. Okay, continue.
Minimum.
Continue landing. We are not clear to land, so let's give a chance to the traffic to vacate the runway. Still there.
Austrian 108 Golf, go around. I say again, go around.
Go around, Austrian 171 Golf. Go around, Toga flaps. Now you wait for positive rate. Do not retract the landing gear until you see positive rate. Positive rate, gear up. Now you see go around track. Make sure you go nav. Nav is engaged. And we are climbing. Now you want to keep the thrust because we have terrain around the place. Now she will ask us to go to climb. Climb. Above F-bug, flaps 1. Wow. Not lucky, we had the traffic on the runway. Okay, so at least we practice a go around here. And we have to make sure we are in nav. Again, see how important it is. We have terrain left, terrain right, and we are below the terrain. You can see the terrain altitude, 86. We are 4,400. So you want to make sure that you stay in nav. Speed check, flaps up. Engine anti-ice on. Temperature is 9 degrees, yeah. Don't forget that. Now she will go green dot, up climb. We will keep green dot as we want to go as soon as possible to 9,500. Flaps are up, off, we were not clear to land, and I retract the speed brake. Okay, so let's see
Austrian 118 Golf, contact radar 128, decimal 9075, see you later.
Roger, over to the radar again, 128-9075, Austrian 118 Golf. 128-9075, here we go. Radar hello again, Austrian 118 Golf on a go around, passing 67 for 9,500 feet.
Austrian 118 Golf, hello again, hold over Romeo Tango, Tango as published, one aircraft is blocking the runway. I'll call you back shortly as soon as I have more information.
Roger, we just hold at Romeo Tango Tango and standing by Austrian 118 Golf. Okay, so standard missed approach altitude, and if we go here we have the holding over Romeo Tango Tango, which is in front of us. So if we look here, we will be coming in like this. The inbound is 225 right turn, so I'm expecting the aircraft to go parallel entry probably, or teardrop entry, so probably she will stay on the track and then turn left and come back to RTT to join the hold. So yeah, let's see. Speed alt star 9,500, and we want to save fuel, so I don't want to increase the speed. That's the best economical speed, and we have to hold anyway, so there is no need to increase the speed. Engine OTI is not required. This is burning as well a little bit extra fuel, so we don't need it, we don't use it. Landing light, we will keep them on. We are below 10,000 and we are going to an holding. So in the holding pattern, you always have your landing lights on so that the other traffic as well holding can see you. By the way, we have a traffic right there coming in front of us. So it is way above, so it should not be an issue. So if we look now into the fuel prediction, what we can see here is that we need 2.4 to divert to Munich. So right now we've got about 3 tons. So we have 600 kilos extra before we have to divert. And we are burning around 1,400 kilos per hour. So we got about 10 minutes fuel. So I will show you how you can check that as well on the MCDU in a minute. So where's this traffic now? Here. 747. Okay, so I hope the runway will be available again, and if we have to go all the way back to runway 08, that's gonna be a long way. So let's see what we get. Approaching Romeo Tango Tango, and the scenery here is just beautiful. So you see, in navigation, easy, she's flying everything. Don't have to worry about anything here. Okay, thank you. Here I got in the EFB Navigraph page, click on the little black bar on the right of the black screen to get full page. Okay, so let's see that. In the EFB Navigraph page, click on the little black bar on the right of the black screen. Here.
Austrian 108 Golf, good news, runway should be available in around 5 to 10 minutes, and expect now the RNP Zulu for runway 26, wind is light and variable.
Oh, thank you very much. We expect now the RNP Zulu runway 26, Austrian 118 Golf. So with that kind of wind, that's perfect for us fuel-wise as well. So let's enter that into our FM MCDU. So flight plan, we are going now for the RNP Zulu runway 26, and it's via Romeo Tango where we are holding right now. Insert. Right, fuel prediction 2.4, and we have 2.9, so we should get that quickly. Let's brief that approach so we give a chance. So Innsbruck approach, and we are going now for the RNP Zulu runway 26 AR. And what do we have here? So radar we know, AirNav, final course is 258, 9,500 feet. That's the actual altitude that we are flying. Whiskey India 002, we start descent on the 3.5 degrees down to minimum. RNP 0.15, you see we are, let's say, qualified 0.3, so I will put the minimum at 2670. Airport elevation is the same. If we go missed,
Austrian 118 Golf runway will be available for you in around 2 minutes, so report ready for the approach.
Roger, thank you. We'll call you back when we are ready for the approach. Austrian 118 Golf. Okay, so let's set the minimum 2670. Performance, activate approach. 2670. Same weather as before. We are at the holding pattern, and we were briefing here going down, and the missed approach was climb to 11,500 this time via the AirNav again. So we're gonna arm nav again, and we do a whole circuit in AirNav to come back over RTT. So if I check that now, I should have the whole routing back to my RTT and hold, which is nice. Perfect. Now that I told the MCDU what I want to do, I can see here my extra fuel. You see 0.4, so we have 2.8 in the tank. So right now she's telling you you have 400 extra fuel, which is 11 minutes. So in 11 minutes maximum holding fuel, then if we don't get the approach clearance, or if we are not ready, we need to divert to Munich immediately. So here I have set this. Let's have a quick look at the performance. So arrival performance. This time we are going to land on runway 26. We have the same weather, and auto brake medium will do, and we could even reduce the weight. I will just leave it safe side. We are good. Auto brake medium is set, so we are okay. Progress page, I have high and 0.03, so everything looks good. It is the bar you use to scroll up and down. Okay, I will look at that when I have a minute, because I don't want to screw up the approach. Let me see that. Maybe now we are turning inbound. So Navigraph. It is the bar I use. This, yeah, this one. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very, very much. And then I can bring it back like this. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot for the tip. That's very useful. Perfect. Thanks a lot. Okay, so are we ready for the approach? We briefed, we set the minimum, we checked the accuracy, we have 10 minutes of fuel, we have auto brake medium, and I will just tell the cabin crew. I will call here the cabin crew in the cockpit, and I will do the passengers a quick announcement telling them that we had to go around due to an aircraft on the runway, and now everything is clear and we should be on the ground within 6 or 7 minutes. So that's something you will do before you start your approach, if you have, of course, the fuel to do it. Otherwise, take the priority first and do the announcement even on ground later on. All right, so I guess we are ready. I'm going to report ready. Austrian 118 Golf, we are ready for the approach.
Austrian 118 Golf, Roger. QNH is still 9er. You are cleared, and the Zulu runway 26.
Roger, clear. RNP Zulu runway 26. Thank you, Austrian 118 Golf. All right, we are clear for the approach. So what I'll do here, I will go direct RTT, insert. That will get rid of the holding, and that's it. We are going in there. I'll just check sure we have activate approach. That's fine. Progress page high, and we are going to do the approach on the other side now. And hopefully the weather will be with us, because as I said before, the weather can change very quickly with the rain showers. Okay, so here we start the descent as Whiskey India 002. So again, what I suggest you to do, go fix info, Whiskey India 002, and you just put here 2 miles radius. Now if we are flying with green dot, when you reach your 2 miles before, you can just start to configure and slow down the aircraft. So you will see that. So now we are going to make another approach that's good for the passengers. For the one that love to look outside, this is very nice. Okay, so we are going toward our final descent point. This is my initial approach fix. I will press approach and I have up nav and final in blue. So final is arm. We're expecting the final to become active at Whiskey India 002. So that's something you want to monitor, and then we will set missed approach altitude. So let's go and do the approach checklist once more to make sure we didn't forget anything. So barrel rev, we have 9er 3 times. I'm reading 9,500, 9.5 on the first officer and 9.5 on the junior. Seatbelt sign is on. Minimum, we have set 2670 with RNP 0.3. Auto brake is medium and engine mode selector is normal. Complete. Okay, so let's hope we can land that time. So in that circle, which is 2 miles Whiskey India 002, provided you are in green dot, you can start configuring the aircraft. So see that point, 2 miles. I'll go now, flaps 1. The slats are extended, you can see from that window, unfortunately. Flaps 1, flaps 2. The idea here is that the aircraft doesn't put any thrust before you start descent. This is why these 2 miles works perfectly well. You see that she's dropping slowly the speed. We are reaching our final descent point. We check final. She's turning. We expect final to become active. Let's see. Gear down. Final approach speed. Gear down. Arm speed brake. Flaps 3. Flaps full. Missed approach altitude 11,500 feet this time. Set. And again we do the approach. We check that we are localizer deviation is good, vertical deviation is good. We still are in high. We monitor the actual performance, and we are going down for another approach. Let's hope this time we see the runway and we land. The runway is 2,000 meters, so do not aim for a nice landing with a nice floating. You have 2,000 meters runway. You saw with the performance there that we have 1652 meters to stop the aircraft if we go to brake medium. The runway is 2,000 meters, so you don't want to float past the touchdown zone. Especially the runway might be wet, so if you go, you see if it's good medium, we are already out of it. So we'll have to go probably with max manual, and even that will not work.
Austrian 118 Golf, contact tower 120.1. Bye bye.
Over to the tower 1201 Austrian 118 Golf. Bye bye. So we go back to the tower now. Tower, hello again, Austrian 118 Golf on the RNP 26 Zulu.
Austrian 118 Golf, hello again. Runway is clear and available for you. The wind is light and variable. Runway 26, you are clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 26, Austrian 118 Golf. Finally. Clear to land, I just set the light to taxi. That's my way of knowing that my clearance is received. So if I have a doubt, I look there, and if you still have a doubt, just call back the tower. It's always easy to say confirm clear to land, Austrian 118 Golf. They'll tell you affirm. So if you have any doubt, that's just a hint, but call the tower. do not try to land without the landing clearance, unless you want to give away part of your license or have extra training in your training department. Okay, going down again. So now we are lucky we can see the other side. Nice. See where we are going, all the way down here to the runway. We can see that the green indication on the terrain display is turning amber and slowly red, so we will probably get terrain warning or GPWS. So let's see. Again, I don't know the procedures they use, because they might have a special database for this kind of approach that doesn't trigger the GPWS. If it triggers, I will just pretend we can turn it off, and I will turn it off right there so we can fly the approach without being disturbed. Of course, that depends on your airline procedure. Let's see. Going down, we still have low cloud here. Minimum is 2,670. So again, a good thing to remember is airport elevation plus 2,500. We should get radio altimeter. We should get the 2,500. So that should occur at around 4,500. So in around 1,000 feet, we should get the 2,500 call. We are getting into the cloud. Temperature is 5 degrees. Anti-ice comes on. Last chance for the passengers now. They will see a little bit of cloud, and hopefully for us, we will see the runway and we can do a landing in Innsbruck. Should we have to go around, then we will have no fuel to try another approach, because they are very long, and you see that we have already 2,600. So guys, if we go around here with that kind of fuel, we'll request an immediate diversion to Munich, because we already did 2 approaches. We don't want to risk a third one on a non-precision approach and maybe end up in low fuel. So go around means we are going back to Munich. So this you can already brief. We are not going to play around with that amount of fuel in the tank. So let's see. I'll just reduce a little bit here the terrain. We know it's bad, and we had the call. We had the 2,500 feet call at the right position, so that's fine. Now we hope that we are breaking the cloud and we see the runway. Wing anti-ice, it's here we just have basically 5 degrees and some rain. You will use it in winter time when you're going down, not on takeoff. Most of the time it's on during the descent, and you are into cloud, then you will use it, yeah, if you need to. You can use your wing anti-ice wing light and have a look at your wings, but it's most of the time we don't use it. Okay, we are breaking the clouds. We can see the runway. That's perfect. We are clear to land, so we should be fine this time, I hope. So landing checklist, please. We've got go around altitude 11.5 set, cabin crew is advised, and a cam memo. We have a landing, no blue. Landing checklist complete.
Terrain ahead.
Yeah,
Pull
and I'm
up.
visual, so I will turn the terrain off. We are visual, and the runway is in front of us. It's very nice, this scenery here. I'm using the Orbix scenery for Innsbruck. I thought it was looking much better than the Azobo. Here we are getting very close to the houses and to the buildings. Okay, so I will take it manually in a couple of seconds, just at minimums.
100 above.
The runway is the last waypoint, so we can keep flight director. We could even keep the autopilot flying. Look at that. Minimum continue landing. Look at this beautiful view from the wing. All right, so let's Don't screw it up because we have no fuel. So it's not the right time to play around. So autopilot comes off. And we try to stay on the profile, not to go too high. That will be a mistake now to go too high on the short runway. Better go 3 red than 4 white. Crossing threshold at 50 feet.
50, 40, 30, 10.
And just put it down. 5. All right, reverses green, decel. You see, I told you not to float, and we were at the end of the touchdown zone. So a very bad example, but the aircraft is slowing down nicely. 70 knots, idle reverse. And manual braking.
118 Golf, welcome to Innsbruck. Taxi gate 3 via Alpha Taxiway. And sorry about the go around. The aircraft was on the runway. Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you. Taxi gate 3 via Alpha, Austrian 118 Golf. No problem with the traffic. Thank you very much. Okay, vacating the runway to the left, gate 3. So let's try to make FSI panel do the afterlanding flow for us. So for that I retract the speed brake, and then hopefully everything will be done for me. Oh la la, the taxi is not... Here we go, flaps are moving up, she's doing it, that's perfect. Engine OTIs can go off. Terrain, I'll put it back on. And now we are calling GS6 for gate 3, she said. So gate number 3, no. Terrain. Here we go. Alright, so nice approach. I was floating a little bit, so that's not very good. The landing was at the end of the touchdown zone. I should have put the aircraft down much earlier. It's still within limits, but it's not very nice on this kind of runway. So that's not something you want to do. So try to be a little bit harder on the landing and be on the touchdown zone, just to be on the safe side. All right, so yeah, look at this beautiful scenery here. This is Tyrian Technique. Then we're gonna have some airplane here. And gate number 3 is just right there. I see the simulator is making some problem. I hope it will stay alive until I park, please, so we can end up the stream. Okay, is the APU running? Yeah, the APU is running, so we are going to park right there. So I'll turn off the taxi light now, and the marshaller is right here. Okay, or she want me to park like this. Yeah, coming. No, this is not good enough. We need 0.0, right? Yeah. Okay, brake set. APU bleed is on. Yes, shut down the engine. Number 1, number 2. Perfect, engine shutting down. Beacon light can go off. Seatbelt sign can go off. Fuel pump can go off, and finally we are going to turn off the transponder. Off, and terrain is off, and let's call the shutdown checklist. Landing checklist, we have no, not the landing checklist, JP getting tired here. Parking brake is set for now, the engines are off. Wing lights off, and fuel pumps, they are off. Parking checklist completed. I'm going to request deboarding. GS6 and request deboarding. Here we go. Alright guys, we made it. I hope you learned something, and that was an interesting scenario for you. I will put it online later on today, so you can download it on your Airbus or on your PNDG. Remember that you have to set everything by yourself. There will be no automatic setup of the cockpit, so just set the aircraft weight as you like. Do not go too heavy, just to make sure you can land. And yeah, as I said here, I was looking with the weather. You might have the same chance, or you might get rain showers right over the airfield, and it might be much difficult. So here we were lucky on the stream, and yeah, I hope you liked it. If you didn't subscribe yet to the channel, please do it. That will help me a lot, and I will see you for another stream very soon. On the maybe on the 737 this time, or we will see. Not yet sure what we are going to do. And I don't know if you saw today, I released as well the A300-600. So if you want to fly approaches now on that beautiful bones, it is now possible to fly approaches as well using the SI panel standard edition A300. Alright, I hope I see the audio on the was too strong. Sorry about that, guys. I'm still new in the stream, so I think you didn't hear me, or the audio outside was way too loud. Alright, thank you guys, thank you everybody. It means a lot to me every day when I see so many people watching the stream and participating. I think I answered all the questions. Let me see if there is anything else here. Thank you everybody, thank you Tony, thank you everybody for being here, and I will see you on the next stream. Thank you guys, and stay safe, and see you next time. Bye bye. Good night.